Good evening, viewers and listeners, and welcome to another edition of this program, Serving the People, brought to you every Wednesday at 6:30 on SVG Television. I'm Anissa Batiste, your host, Senator for the New Democratic Party. Please let us start with a word of prayer. Loving Father in heaven, please bless me as I speak the truth to the people. May we empathize one with another as we enter into each other's feelings, as we consider the neglect and the suffering of our people under this ULP administration. Have mercy upon us, dear Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And now let me remind you that if you wish to contact me through this program, you may do two things. You may send an email. The address is servingthepeople.ab@gmail.com. Or you may telephone me. The number is 528-1015. I'll repeat the information at the end of the program for your assistance. In this evening's program, we go to West St. George for the first segment, particularly in the area of Cane Hall, Upper Cane Hall, Maine, and particularly we look at the Guinea Hill Road, and we hear from the residents about the sufferings they experience as a result of the neglect over the many years of this road. Take a look at this footage. This is Anissa Batiste for Serving the People. And this evening I'm here between the rocks in what is a crevice, but literally this is a road that the residents of Maine, of Upper Cane Hall, have to use every day. Children in particular have to come up this road to get to the top to go to the Dorsetshire Hill Primary School, and workers to and fro. Because the other end of the road, the journey would be too long, would take them down into Arnesville, and then they would have to take transportation to Sand Hill and then walk up to Dorsetshire Hill. I want you to take a careful look at the state of this road, and you'll hear what residents have to say in terms of how long it's been this way, what has been done ever since, and what problems they're facing. My dear people, I tell you the truth. Woman has fallen down, lost babies as a result of this road. People have damaged their backs. It is ridiculous. And even when the rain comes, and especially in fact when the rain comes, heavy water flows down here, and in some cases they cannot come up this road because too much water is right in front of them and they're walking in the water's way. Please take a careful look. Journey with us. Consider these things. If you notice, this is a part of the road where I'm standing, and if I'm to go further, I have to put my foot here and then look at the next height I have to climb to continue on the rest of the road. It's ridiculous. I didn't expect this. I'm wearing a skirt, but you would have to literally go on your hands, crawl, and make high steps to get up this area. And children going to the Dorsetshire Hill Primary School and their parents going to and fro work in this area have to use this path. It's really not a proper road. Something must be done. I'm standing with one of the residents up here in Maine, in Cane Hall, West St. George, and she has a very important story to tell about how the roads we've been showing you and the state thereof has affected her personally in terms of personal accidents she suffered. Ayandi, tell the people what happened to you.
Hello, my name is Ayandi Bailey. I was pregnant with my second baby. I was walking coming up there from clinic and I fall. But I didn't take as nothing. I know, so I started to bleed. So I rushed out Ansley by a doctor and he gave me some pills to stop the blood. But that didn't work. I reached hospital the evening and started to bleed. I passed out my child and losing so much of blood. I faint. When I catch myself, I waking up. I catch myself on a bed. I pass out again. I want to go to the bathroom. My husband helped me go to the bathroom. When I come back out, I pass out again.
And this was because of the fall?
Because of the road, yeah.
Of the road.
And then I get pregnant again with my second baby. And the same accident happened again. I have a miscarriage by falling down from up the hill coming down.
So 2 miscarriages?
2 miscarriage, yeah.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah. Up now I still remember my baby then. Well. Yeah. And then I get pregnant with my baby here. This is my 5th child. And then I was coming from Queen up there where I fall long, but I didn't take as nothing. I was in my 4 months. 4 months pregnant, yeah. And then I fall down the up that side of 2 before the rain, because rain was flowing in the evening. And I slipped. And then when we go in the house, I know to start to spot. But I said, that's not nothing anyhow. I know to start to come heavy. I said, Lord, don't make it happen to me 2 children, happen to me last child here. I started to cry. I have my neighbor behind here. I go and tell her, she rushed me to the hospital. I tell the staff what happened, and they told me, well, they fall down with my child, my infant born before the time was done. I started to cry. I said, Lord, oh, please don't let me try that because I can't go through losing tall baby. So I come down for 2 months of baby. I said, well, if I reach to 7 months, the child will live. I make it to 6. I said, I said, well, I'll go home because I have my child, the little boy inside who was 2 years old at the moment. So she said, well, if I go home, send you home. I promise you wouldn't go up the hill. When I come the dog out, I tell she, I promise I wouldn't go nowhere. I would stay inside the house and lie down. So I have a little boy here now.
Praise God for
Praise
that.
God for that.
And considering what you've gone through, is there anything you'd like to say to the representative for this area?
Well, I just go by his office. Sometimes some neighbors go and phone out that he was down there. We go by him and I told him my story already, what happened to me too. I have 2 miscarriages and my last child here. The hurricane mashed up my roof. Sometimes I see the rain flood. All inside my house is flooding me dry and in the bed because it's 2 rooms right now we're living too. All inside there is wet and my little boy, the little boy is asthmatic. When the rain fall, he sleep, rain is coming to and wet him at the hospital because the water wetting him. So I want to tell him help me in my house and please fix the road as he promised.
Thank you very much. In this area here is where the residents say all the water that comes down off the hill rushes down like a flood and goes down into this area. This is supposed to be a road that leads to other people's residence. Imagine the amount of water coming down and flooding them out down there. Something needs to be done urgently.
This road, it's a neglect road. From since in Keto days when Arthur Williams was the representative for the area,
yes.
He cut the road.
Okay.
And he never done anything to the road.
Okay.
And this is how it is from where when I was since a little girl going to school in Dorsetshire.
Wow.
Now, I'm a big woman, still living in the area and rambling and scrambling to get up that hill.
Right.
All the representatives come from Arthur Williams, go down to this one, to that one, to the next one, even down to Mike Brown. And even Francis Gibson was before Mike Brown.
Right.
When even Francis Gibson was in this constituency for West St. George, she had done the bridge for us and part of the road,
that's
which
coming
we are,
up.
Yes, that's coming up, which we are very grateful, and I always give her thanks for that.
Okay.
See, after even Francis Gibson, he had done another small piece of the road, and he hasn't done anything more. And many occasions, people ask him to come up and visit the people in the area. Oh, I'm coming, and he never was here. Nobody never see him. And when election time, there is Mike Brown in the area. Oh, vote ULP. We do this, we do it, and always promising. So there are all promisers and no fulfillers.
Wow.
And the people of this West St. George for Guinea Hill area are suffering for the wants of this Guinea Hill road. And now, Seth Mackey is on seat, and he come up only just after election time. We seen him before election and after election. Twice. And we never see Sesmaki again in this village.
I never see him since election.
Never.
Twice.
And it's almost a year.
Yes. I sent children to go up the hill, something to go with the shoes in the hand.
Has he seen the area up there?
Yes.
He went up there and has he seen
Yes.
the state of the road?
Yes. Sesmaki went up there and he saw it. A guy, he take him up there and show him the road. His name is Gladstone Bailey. He showed him the road. And he know the situation of the road and everybody made the complaint. So he know from since when Arthur Williams was there, the road was stopped. Vehicle used to travel it up. A man by the name of Jim Maskell used to drive up there with a little jeep. And if they had done it in them times there, we would have had a good road. But now they leave it to look like a little gutter and a valley that you had to climb like a mountain.
That is so true.
And this is not right for the people of Western Java. They should treat us better than this, because everybody have the rights to say what they have to say. I must commend even Frances Gibson for a job well done when she was in Parliament. She done the road, she gave us light. When we was in darkness, she gave us light. In hard times, they gave us back iron pipes where we was replaced with PVC pipes from help from somebody in Trinidad. And now we don't know what Sesmaki intends to do, because he don't visit us, we don't see him, and he don't come around at all.
Let me ask you something. I want you to tell people how the situation affects the children who have to take the road to go over to the Dorset Hill.
It affects them very badly, because if rain come, they cannot get up the hill. They have to stay home. And the next thing, if they get up halfway in the hill, is no way for them to run, to swell a good hustle up to reach up. The wreck, they have to come back.
Anytime
and when they come in and rain comes, there is a disaster. They fall down, they come home, they're nasty, the clothes full of dirt. And that is not nice. There's children to tread the road, there's people, there's old people who try to get up there and can't get up there. And they need to do something about this road. This road here have people suffering for this road. It's too long, too long. From since Arthur Williams was there in Keto days, that is too long. 30-something years now, that is too long. People don't need to suffer in this kind of suffering for all them years.
I understand.
They need to do something about it. Otherwise, they're losing everybody vote from up in this area here the next election. Yes, I see many a times people go up the hill, fall down, break up their bones. A little boy, he coming down, he break his foot. Wow. He couldn't even go to school for a couple of days. We told my brown, everybody know that, but they never done nothing.
Do you think residents would be willing to put in their hand and work?
Yes,
over and over we do
over and over residents say they will intend to help. If they give us this stuff, we intend to help. Even if they want to pay people, they intend to help. But they don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything.
The road down here break up and we have to buy cement, sand and everything and go and do it.
For instance.
And patch it back. Look down by Miss Neptune and to know what they patch back because we ain't got no money.
I understand.
There is a piece of road just past my Uncle Julian down there. That road was so bad that the vehicle was coming up the night and I was in the vehicle. And the road is out so bad that the vehicle skid and go backwards and jam in the bank. Wow. If it didn't jam in the bank, the vehicle could have turned and rolled over. Everybody up there side had to come down and help him and push the vehicle to get it up. And we take it up and we own back. And we use 25 sacks of cement and put in the road and everybody pitching in with a couple sacks here and there. Mr. Howard put in some. A guy who had a truck, he bring us a half truck load of rubber car and he bring us sand. And that didn't finish it off. We had a little piece to finish off and Howard gave us the rest of stuff to finish it off from where he had by his house. And Mike Brown said, oh hey, all let's do road up and they're coming up to see how all they do the road, all the repair. He never reached. And it have piece down by Miss Neptune. It is terrible right now and it wants fixing. And we need some proper drains from off of the hill where we call Grass Hill where Howard live. We need proper drains on both sides of the road to take the water to the river and not coming in the road because that's what help National Road. And if government look into it and the representative for the area look into it, we will have a proper road and it won't be mashing up so fast and the people of Western Java won't have to be pulling in the pocket all the time to fixing everything for the government.
I understand.
Yes, my dear people. Did you hear those stories? We have residents telling us for how long this road has been in the condition it is in as a result of sheer neglect. The ULP administration, having been there for the last 10 years, has not done anything to improve the situation, even as the situation goes way back, we are told, to the time of Arthur Williams. We hear of the plight of school children who who must travel that road every day to attend the Dorsetshire Hill Primary School. In fact, some residents were saying to me that teachers at the school fret that some parents are taking their children out of the school and sending them to schools in Kingstown because they cannot endure the difficulties of having to trod that hill of a road which is in a terrible state, especially when it rains and the children have to literally crawl on hands and feet and also have to endure getting their clothes messed up and literally not being able to go to school, essentially. It's really a sad situation. Even worse is the fact that according to one resident, she shared her very intimate and personal story of the very loss of her babies from falling on that road on 2 occasions. These things ought not to be. This kind of neglect is really gross negligence, and in other parts of the world, state authorities can be sued over situations like this. When circumstances exist so grave, they ought to be given priority. But it doesn't seem as if the Unity Labour Party has the very lives of people and the circumstances of students, though they boast so much about an education revolution. It doesn't seem they have these things at heart and as priorities. This is indeed an unfortunate situation. I want you to note that the residents are expressing interest in putting in their hands to do work pertaining to the improvement of their situations. They've spoken of times when they did that before. They need assistance. They need the material. They need assistance to get the relevant material to do something about that road. We were there for a short time, and a bit of rain came down between the time we started and finished. And we had to wait for the rain to cease to continue. And just the bit of rain that came, we saw the impact in terms of the sogginess of the grass. You can easily slip and fall. I can understand what one resident, Miss Bailey, was saying. And even the slipperiness of the rocks going up the hill there to get onto the main to go over to the Dorsetshire Hill Primary School and other areas. These things are really unfortunate. And when you have people's interests at heart, when you care for people, you cannot leave these things for so many years and do nothing. It is not good enough, and the authorities ought to be ashamed of themselves. It shows that this administration, having left it like that, you complain and you said the NDP didn't do well enough. Well, you got there, the people gave you a chance, and you did nothing better. And having left it like that for so many years, it shows how uncaring and disregarding of the people's very basic or fundamental rights, including their right to life, including the opportunity for their children to comfortably attend school. It shows how much you are disregarding these things. And that is unacceptable. Well, you heard the people's voices themselves concerning how they feel about the most recent representative who's almost been there for a year now. Listen to how they feel about not knowing what his plans are, because they say he has not been coming around as he should have. I hope that he is listening, and I hope that he could somehow convince his Prime Minister to give the residents of the Guinea Hill Road area in Maine above Upper Cane Hall some priority and some urgent attention accordingly. For God's sake, let not somebody have to fall down, hit their head on the rocks coming down that road and die or something before something is done. This kind of neglect must stop. This is the reason why governments are elected, to see about the interests of the people at heart. They're not just voting cattle to put you there and then after you forget about them. And the unborn children cannot speak for what has happened to mother and father having to lose children from a fall. This is no joke. And it's time we put this partisan politics and this nonsense and this tradition of neglecting constituents after you get elected aside and do something for the people. Because want it for their taxes that goes into the treasury every day from monies that they spend. You couldn't even be getting a salary, Mr. Sesmaki. Do something, for God's sake. I want the people in that area whom I met there and had a very good interaction with to know that I stand with them. I truly empathize with what they're going through. And by the grace of God, through thinking things together and working together, we will try and see what can be done. but we call upon the government representative to be accountable to the people whom he ought to represent as a representative in government for all of the people of Western George, whether they voted for you or not. And now in this second segment, I just want to briefly touch on one of the questions I posed in Parliament on the sitting of the 29th of September 2011. This question was a very important one. It had to do with the concern that many have raised about the fact that their relatives who are in great need, elderly persons especially, and persons who are sick and cannot work for themselves, are being neglected the opportunity to be on the public assistance program because of their political affiliation. The question that I asked reads thus, or read thus: there are a large number of complaints of elderly and ailing constituents whose family members are unable to access public assistance for their loved ones. They say that when they address their requests to the Social Welfare Department, they are often instructed to see their area representatives, and that they are subsequently unsuccessful because they are known to the area representatives as supporters of the opposition New Democratic Party. In light of these complaints, would the Honourable Minister please state, A, if it is a policy of the Social Welfare Department to instruct Vincentians to see constituency representatives before they can be considered for public assistance? B, if the answer is in the affirmative, please state why. C, if support of the Unity Labour Party is a condition for receiving public assistance. And D, whether it is true that even citizens with letters of recommendation from medical doctors are turned down due to their political affiliation with the opposition New Democratic Party. These were the questions I asked. When the Honourable Member answered, he pampersed, as we would say, and claimed that my question was, to quote him, pregnant with falsehoods. It was intended for political mischief, he said. And he denied. He said, no, it's not a policy of the department to tell people go to their constituency representatives first before they can be considered. He said, no, it is not a condition that you have to be a member of the ULP to get public assistance. And he said he wasn't aware of anybody having doctor letter coming to the Social Welfare Department and being turned down because of party affiliation. Well, Mr. Stevenson, it's either you don't know what goes on in departments in your own ministry, or you're being dishonest and pretending not to know what happens. There are countless examples of persons throughout this country, and I'm going to list a few, and you need to answer to those people why you are telling them they are liars. I don't come to Parliament to politic. I come with the things that the people talk about that really affect them. So you go and answer to the 7-year-old child in Oya of North Windward who is disabled, who had a serious accident and ended up with some brain tumor, and whose family have been trying to get her onto public assistance for the last 5 years. A 7-year-old child. Her sister says, Miss Baptiste, she cannot talk. When she cries, you just see the water coming down her eyes, but no sound coming out of her mouth. You, Frederick Stevenson, go and answer to that family why they have not been able to get onto the public assistance for the last 5 years. Go and find out. It is your job. Then you have Mr. Junta, who is in his 60s, late 60s, and a whole group of people in Oya, when I was there at a public meeting, came to me and complained, residents concerned about this gentleman. Why? He's had a pressure stroke. He is immobile. Basically, he is mostly bedridden, has to be wearing pampers, an elderly man. And efforts have been made to get him on the public assistance. Ask Montgomery Daniel about Junta and find out why Junta can't get onto public assistance up to now when he is clearly in need. When you have stories about young persons who can work, who have the health and strength, who's on public assistance because they support the ULP. Nobody is lying here. Don't come with this nonsense about political mischief and question pregnant with falsehoods. This is people's lives you're talking about. Go to West St. George and ask about Carmen Lewis of Ashburton, 78-year-old heart patient, who took a doctor-recommended letter to the relevant department to get onto the public assistance and can't get on up to now. And I can tell you about so many others. These things ought not to be so. My dear people, these people really need help. And unlike you all, It is not always about politicking and partisan politics. There are people in the house who are serious about their work, like me. And I'm seriously concerned about these people. So when you give this nice sounding answer and then you say the ULP is full of compassion and profound love and all this nonsense for the people, how do you explain those 3 cases I've pointed out? And there are so many more. My dear people, we need change in this country. We need a change of attitude. We need a change of policy direction. We need change from the way politics has been practiced in the past. It cannot continue like this. Otherwise, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will continue to go downwards and be backward. We cannot have people suffering because of a party color. We're a democratic country. We say we believe in rights and freedoms. People should not have to be suffering because they choose to support a particular political party. And never has the victimization issue been so great in this country until now. And you will talk to persons who've lived in it before and who will compare and tell you that for many years they've been living. These things ought not to be so. They are not right. They are unacceptable from any government and certainly from the ULP government who's reigning now. But my time is up. And I want to just say to you, my dear people, that I pledge to continue to serve you by bringing the real issues that affect you. I am not in government. I am in the opposition. But I will give you a voice through this program. I will help you tell your stories. I will empathize with you. I will rebuke the government. I will call them to accountability because you, the people, deserve it. Government is supposed to serve all of the people, regardless of whether you're in a minority group, whether you support the opposition, or whether you support the party in government. The people are the ones who give government the power to serve. And this is what it's supposed to be about, service. But alas, what we see instead is neglect, mismanagement, and suffering in the land. But my time is up. Call 528-1015. That's 528-1015. And until next time, remember, I'm Anissa Batiste, your senator in the opposition New Democratic Party, here to serve you, the people. Bye-bye.